Jeff Paterson joins us in studio. Favorite pickle, Jeff? If you're
I'm pretty
forced.
standard. Just, your dill.
Your Bix dill?
Yeah, a little garlic dill.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you gone to the true, dills, Bix are soaked in vinegar, not brine. Do you go to the brine, like the real brine ones?
I'm an off-the-shelf pickle guy.
Straight
I
ahead.
like the kosher sours, so yes, the brine.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
the one you'd get at a good deli with a smoked meat sandwich.
Bubby's
yeah,
pickles.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Jeff Paterson here in the Go-Goat Sports Studio. Nice to see you.
And I can report Bo Horvat did not have a jar of pickles in his stall after practice.
That would have been good. That would have been funny.
Level 10 troll if he did. Oh, my God.
Just a jar in the background.
Now
right?
I'm disappointed.
Oh, you're a step ahead of everybody. Let's hear from Bruce Boudreau here, Jeff, and then come back and discuss because, needless to say, I think when we were all talking about it in Vancouver, it was one thing, and when Canucks fans were talking about it, but I think now sort of the hockey world understands the position that Bruce has been in, and with his boss even admitting they're out there interviewing and talking to replacement coaches while Bruce is still on the job. That's touched a nerve with many. So let's hear Bruce when he was asked today about, his future with the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, I don't read or watch anything. Just try to stay to myself and, come to work and just do what I do and go about my business.
And he's answered that question a variety of different ways. And it was odd to hear Jim Rutherford say, oh, Bruce is a friend of mine. Oh, by the way, yeah, I've talked to a bunch of guys that could very well be his replacement. So that didn't get a ton of run because there were just so many other angles to that lengthy press conference yesterday. But
Jeff, how much damage are they doing to the brand, to the reputation of the franchise, and to themselves personally that they've let this continue and extend to where it's at now?
Well, and to the point you made a moment ago, and it's been all season, from the 0-5-2 start to Rutherford carving Bruce on radio to the blown leads and setting league records. Yes, this is what we do on a daily basis. We talk about this. Some days I wish there were other things to talk about. But it's just remarkable how front and center the Canucks are on the networks and, Hockey Night in Canada, the 32 Thoughts segment, almost every week now, it's the Canucks leading that. You look at all of the big pods that have emerged around the National Hockey League, the league-wide ones, Daily Faceoff and other, every day, because there is something new every day to deal with. Generally, I don't care what goes on in other markets. I mean, I'm a hockey fan and part of the job is to keep up with it, but just, we don't delve into the mess that the Nashville Predators or the Carolina Hurricanes Canes aren't a mess, but you get my point. We focus on the Canucks, but these other podcasts that have 31 other teams that they could be interested in, but the Canucks just keep serving it up, so it's there on a tee for all of them. Yeah, they are the talk of the NHL and not for the right reasons.
Can you dissect the practices at all? And is there any tangible difference? Does it feel like guys going through the motions? Does it feel meek out there? Or is it just like a hockey practice?
Bruce stopped practice about 10 minutes in and just laid into the guys today. So he is the coach for now.
Yes.
And as such, he has things that he wants these guys to do. Had them skating briefly at the end of the practice, doing lines back and forth. We've seen him do that where he gets the teams to line up on the respective blue lines and just, quick bursts and sprints, but do it over and over and over and sort of get the heart rate going. So, it looked like every other practice, come back off the road. Obviously, they won. They want to build off what they did in Carolina. And look, they played hard in Carolina. They played the Hurricanes straight up. Credit where it's due. They haven't done that enough this season, but I don't think that one win in isolation is going to be any kind of turning point for them. So it's right back at it against a good Tampa team that beat them last week. And Stamkos comes in here and, of course, sitting on $4.99. That's going to be the storyline leading into this game, and scored against them last week. And pretty good chance that he'll reach his milestone goal at Rogers Arena on Wednesday
Just
night.
one of the things that, that's one of their better wins of the year, to go into that team's barn and beat them, and especially with a late comeback goal.
Carolina's record when they open the score. They've opened the the scoring more than any team in the NHL, and then they added to it the late first period goal that could have just been a kick in the nuts for the Canucks, and then to give up the 3-2 goal with 2 minutes to go, and you thought, like, all right, they were game today, but this is the Canucks. They're going to go mildly and lose another one. And so, like, the emotion, and we don't see a ton of emotion from a guy like Brock Boeser. It's been a tough season for him. Even when he was scoring a bunch of goals, there's not big celebrations, not really who he is. Like, you could see he was fired up. The teammates were fired up that they got the tying goal. And then when Paterson pulls off the Forsberg and they win, I thought of, because the camera caught Bo Horvat, and he does this. As the captain, he stands and he waits for every guy to file off the ice and high fives and helmet taps and all those types. But I'm thinking to myself, like, let's be honest, there aren't going to be many more big win, good wins that Bo Horvat's involved in with the Vancouver Canucks. And so it looked like a guy that was sort of taking that to heart in that moment, that recognizes, and this is before the GM talked about the pickle and the fact that
Jeff,
he's on his way out of town.
I'm going to a couple of games this week just because of happenstance with clients and friends who could make it this week. I'm going to take a good hard look at Bo Horvat on both nights, because how many more home games does he have?
The motivation for the players is always going to be to win. They're sick and tired of losing, so I think that's how they manufacture the urgency to tie a game like that versus the Carolina Hurricanes. For the coach, of course, though, all those decisions are made on paper before, and I guess to an extent during a game. It's one thing when you're in the first week of October making lineup decisions that we think are questionable. We've got empirical evidence from the season already. How do we justify, or how do we make sense of decisions like Connor Garland being on the first power play unit in the top six, or really the top line, while Kuzmenko is mired on the third line and power play 2? Like if Bruce really does want to win every single game into the sunset, how do we make sense of decisions like that?
Yeah, that one's curious. I asked him after practice today about Kuzmenko not being the net front guy on the first unit power play. Power play went cold out on the road at one point there, Bruce said. Like, not only is it not scoring, but he's starting to see guys cheating and taking chances, and that's part of why they have given up a league-high 9 shorthanded goals. So they took Brock Boeser off the power play, but that should have been Kuzmenko's spot. And you're right, for a coach who, by all accounts, is on his last legs here, you'd think he'd want to do everything in his power to score goals and win. And now it's Connor Garland, who has played. There's been an uptick in his performance of late. I think there's been an uptick in his production as well. But guess what? He's got 1 power play goal on the season. It came in the home opener against Buffalo way back when. So this isn't a guy that scores on the regular on the power play. Kuzmenko does. He's got 8 power play goals on the season. And the ice time and the fact that he was back on the third line at practice again with Sheldon Dries, like, organizationally, you could sort of understand if they're trying to suppress this guy to keep his numbers down. I mean, in the here and now, it seems crazy, but it is business. But if Bruce isn't going to be around, like, why, even if he was told, don't put him on the power play, like, to me, that would be Bruce's last stand. Like,
don't tell me what to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm here to coach and win. I'm going to put the best power play out there. So, yeah, it's curious why Kuzmenko is getting the treatment that he is right now. And look, his production has dropped. He's got 2 goals in his last 8 games. They both came against Colorado in one of the few victories that this team has had. But we should mention as well, because a lot was made. Lazar out late against Tampa with that buzzer beater chance. And then Lane Peterson in Florida in the 6-on-5 set. When they go back, Kuzmenko gets his opportunity in Carolina. He made a hell of a play off the wall in traffic to get the puck to Horvat. Horvat had the shot, and then Boeser scooted out from behind the net and popped in the rebound. But that goal doesn't happen without Kuzmenko.
And he still does have 6 points in his last 6 games because he's added some assists as well. So
and that speaks to he's more than a goal scorer, and we've seen that throughout the year. Like, he's got vision and hands and has been a playmaker. So yeah, I'm with you. It's a curious treatment of Kuzmenko right here, right now.
Well, except that when Rutherford talks about we have contracts we can't move, I wonder if Garland is one of those teetering contracts that maybe if he just got hot here for a few weeks, that's a deal.
But again, why would Boudreau abide by that planning? He knows he's walking the plank in the next 2 weeks anyway. Like, why would he carry that out?
Because he's amenable.
Maybe. And as Rutherford says, they're good friends.
Well, and no, but the other thing, Blake, is if you draw the line in the sand and say, no, Jim, I'm not doing that, then maybe you're fired today as opposed to in a couple.
And you do wonder if some of those conversations have been floated at the very least. Building up asset value, Brock Boeser, and again, Boeser loses in this power play deployment because it's Garland's for the here and now. But Boeser was better on the road trip, and he's got 5 of his 9 goals since December 23rd. So 5 in the last 12. He had 4 before Christmas, and you're starting to see some signs of life. But again, why is it happening? A lot of it, you track it right back. He's now getting to play with his Paterson. Whoever plays with Paterson gets the Paterson bump, and we've seen it all season long. And as great a season as Bo is having as a goal scorer, we know when you play on the wings with Bo Horvat, the production doesn't follow. It's just, that is the truth of the matter here. So it's good to see Boeser scoring. He's looking more dangerous. And again, if they're trying to move him, every goal right now matters. So we'll see if that continues for Brock Boeser. But it was nice to see him score a big goal, a timely goal. Let's just be honest. There haven't been enough goals across the board for Brock Boeser this season.
Yeah, and I think it was last week, Pierre LeBrun had a little note that there is some interest picking up in Boeser on the trade front. Look, it's a difficult contract to move, but who knows?
It'll look better when his goals column is double digits. Sitting on 9, it still seems like a down year. You can get that up to 12 in a hurry over the next few games. Feels better.
It may look better, too, if the money owing on the contract is a little lower with every day that goes by.
Yeah.
And teams might be able to fit them. We mused yesterday that maybe you can go skate early as a tribute to Gino on Wednesday, but it doesn't look that way. You explain.
No. So when I got to practice, one of the first things I saw was Spencer Martin decked out in his Free the Skate kit. And I thought, all right, here we go.
And it looked good, by the way, with a black jersey there. That kid will look good.
Base white pads.
Yeah, I like it.
And then at the other end, Colin Delia was just in his regular blues. And I thought, okay, well, that's curious, but maybe Martin knows he's getting the start and he's trying to break in the gear, and Delia is going to be the backup. But then as the players filtered out for practice, all of them in their various jersey colors, but blue helmets and blue gloves. And so I didn't see it sitting in the stands, but when they came off the ice and we were in the locker room, sure enough, there's a black and yellow 29 decal affixed to the back left of the helmets. And I thought, okay, well, that's good. At the very least, there's going to be a pregame, I'm sure. I didn't talk to anybody in the organization, but they'll do it up right. But at the very least, you're going to see a Gino tribute decal on the back of the helmet, but it was affixed to a blue helmet that they were skating in today. So I would assume from that that's the helmet that they will be wearing as part of their blue uniform. So yes, it would have been incredible. I still think the Free the Skate, the fact that Spencer Martin's out there breaking in and practicing in goalie gear tells me that it's coming. That it's not just at one point the excuse or the reason was guys were breaking in gear that they were going to auction off. And at one of the big, I think Dyson Ice, that's for the well-heeled set in town. You're telling me that the well-heeled crew wants to bid on
practice worn? No.
Sorry, not buying that for a second. Yeah. So I do think that the skate will be freed at some point, but if you've got tickets to the game tomorrow night, I'm sure Gino's will be echoing from the rafters throughout, but alas, I don't think you'll be seeing the Canucks in the black jerseys.
Gino's will be echoing throughout, and as you mentioned yesterday, things are going well. Bruce, there it is, may echo.
Oh, I think so. I think so. I think
now everybody knows the plight of the coach. Everyone has accepted it, and I think there will be a lot of people who go, I want to do something nice for Bruce.
I want to say goodbye to him. It'll be because people won't know if that's the last time. So I think we'll hear it for sure. Yeah.
Jeff, marvelous stuff. Thanks for this. Good to see you. We'll catch up Thursday.
All right, guys. Thanks.